Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Namaste to you all, and welcome to this 17th online Jeevan Vidya workshop in English that we conduct. We, as in this is CHDHC as an organization. It's called Center for Holistic Development of Human Consciousness. So we, from several people from Hyderabad, we've started this project to have this knowledge shared across. So this is our 17th online workshop. More about us, more about our organization will we will anyway share the last day or somewhere you'll get to know us anyways while we take this workshop. So just before we get started, I'll just give you brief about what this workshop is all about. I mean, at a very high level, right? So this workshop, Jeevan Vidya itself says that it's about learning about Jeevan. Jeevan is life, right? So Vidya is, education or understanding, right? So most of the times we try to understand everything, like in our education, whatever that we had, we try to understand everything else, everything about others and everything else, right? Other than myself, right? But then only if I understand about myself, that's when I can understand the other, right? Without knowing myself, how could I even try to understand the other, which we actually try to do. So this workshop mostly focuses about understanding myself to start with, without which it's not possible to understand the other. So this workshop will help you to understand about myself to start with, my living in other areas, like I live in my family, I live in the society, I live with this entire nature and existence. So it's about my understanding. So just my suggestion is to focus yourself or focus on myself, right? Not about this, not about others. So you can ask any question related to myself, and what are my feelings, why is there an issue, things like that. So it's all about myself. So that is one suggestion that I would like to give you all. Anyway, the content is going to follow very soon. And before we get started, we would like to invite Sri Ramraj Garu, who has been attending these workshops starting in 2008, I believe, in IIIT Hyderabad, where most of us got introduced to this workshop. So he will share in his own words with his experience and so far, knowing this knowledge and how he has got this into his life. Over to you, Sri Ramraj Garu.
Sir, this is Sri Ramaraju. Since 2008, I am following Jeevan Vidya. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are behaving with the conditioning. This conditioning itself is a pain. Once we understand this innate acceptance of ourselves through Jeevan Vidya, we can overcome these conditions. Those are all called preconditions. We can overcome these preconditions and we can lead our life very smoothly. Once we understand ourselves and the innate acceptance, the understanding level will increase to right understanding, and right understanding will allow to be in happy, and most of the times in family, in office, or in the society. We are all, I am sure we are all benefit uh, after understanding this content. The change will come. A lot of change has happened in my life. I am happily and successfully doing my job in the family and office and society, and the relations also I am able to maintain without any conflicts with anyone. That means the person may be that other person's competency is not a matter for me right now. After that is not influencing me. and with my innate acceptance, I am able to communicate and behave with anyone very smoothly. A lot of happiness, real happiness I have understand, I am feeling and enjoying through Jeevan Vidya only. It is possible, and you are also all benefit after the session, after completed and understanding of the innate self of yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sri Ramrajji. Yeah, good insights of you, and how it has benefited. This content has benefited your life, and so thank you for your sharing. So as he said, this workshop is understanding myself more than anything else. So only when I understand myself, I can understand the other things. So the workshop content is also like that. We would start understanding myself to start with, and my living in other domains, like my family, my relations, my understanding about my relationships, my understanding about my role in the society, and my responsibility towards nature and existence. So this is how it goes on, and it's a linear content. It's like it has to be attended starting from the first day and first hour. So we can't really skip the first part and start attending from the next part. So it doesn't work that way. So I suggest you to be honest and dedicated to try to attend the workshop from the start, and don't miss any of the start. So and this workshop is going to be like starting from 7 a.m. in the morning daily from today till 8:30 in the morning, and there will be a question and answer in the evening from 6 to 7 p.m. So yeah, the mostly morning session would be of the content. It will again be interactive again, but then mostly the evening Q&A would be is more for the audience, for you all to come up with the questions and ask the questions. And in the morning also, you would be given some kind of assignment or some kind of self-reflection, something to for you to work on rest of the day, so that you can actually try and experiment and come up with more questions to be asked in the evening. So evening Q&A also would be very beneficial, because it's about understanding your own questions and come to know the answers by yourself. So that is where this workshop would be more beneficial. So I hope you would make use of it, and I suggest you all to be in a very silent place where you don't get disturbed, and if possible, to have a pen and paper or a book to make a notes of it, and try to reflect on what you've written. Also, it would be very beneficial. So again, I would like to introduce Suman, who is our speaker or facilitator for today. Suman is one of the first persons, I would say, from Hyderabad, IIIT Hyderabad, where he was doing his BTech. He was doing his BTech in computer science in IIIT Hyderabad. He was the first person to get introduced to this Jeevan Vidya during his bachelor's days, and very honored. That was in 2003, right? So he while he's doing his bachelor's, he got introduced to this workshop, and most of us who are the founder members of this organization, so we all got introduced to each other and started this here. So after doing his bachelor's, he started working in Motorola as an engineer, and so he did quite a few things and gotten several awards, like community outreach award for his volunteering. One of the things that he would always share in his workshops also, his experiences in volunteering, book donation drive and all that, and his experiences while he attended this workshop. And he he wanted to learn more and more about this Jeevan Vidya and try to have this implemented in his life. So while doing so, he quit Motorola and rejoined IIIT to do his master's and try to learn more about this content. And while doing his master's, learning natural language processing and also learning more about Jeevan Vidya, try to implement it in his own life. He did his master's in stability, and after that, he was one of the persons who also, while after his attending in these workshops in several times, he took several sessions, like for the faculty, AP degree college lecturers and faculty members, some of the school teachers, and I also did supplement him in one of these some of his workshops. So and the best part is, he's part of us now. He's one of the founder members of CHDHC, and the way his approach, we sometimes call him as a Sehwag of cricket, where the first ball itself he hits a six, right? So that's how we that's because whatever that he speaks or whatever that he has learned, he tries to put it is in his life. So he's currently now in the US, Detroit, US, working for a big automotive company called Robert Bosch. So he's with his family there, living with his two children, and trying to have this implemented in his own life. So now it's time to hear from him, hear his sharings, and his sharing on his knowledge and his own experiences in his own words. So welcome, Suman, and over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Giri. That was a very kind and detailed introduction. Good morning, everybody. Good evening if you're in other places in the world. So like Giriji mentioned, my name is Suman, and I'll be taking a couple of sessions in this workshop, but I'm not going to be the only facilitator for this workshop. We are a team of 7-8 people, and we all work together in conducting these workshops. And so you will meet some other facilitators also in the upcoming sessions and question answers. So today's session is is my responsibility, so I will be conducting the first session today. So first of all, I would like to thank you all, because life is very busy. We all have a lot of commitments. Many of you are taking up very wonderful responsibilities, being teachers, software engineers, or even social work, etc. But still, you have taken out time to reflect upon yourself and understand this knowledge called Jeevan Vidya. And really appreciate that. And we thank you for taking out your time and participating in this workshop. So before going into the workshop, there may be questions about like who we are, what we do. So I'll take 2-3 minutes of time to talk about what is CHDHC. So let me just briefly talk about that, and then we will again come back into the content of the workshop. Just 1 second while I share. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen. Is it visible? Can somebody confirm?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so the Center for Holistic Development of Human Consciousness. So we are an organization based out of Hyderabad primarily, and we work in the area of, as the title says, a holistic development of human consciousness. So what exactly is that? So we believe in the fact that significant change of in the society can be done by transformation at an individual level. Like if people change, if a teacher is a better teacher, and a person is a better person, that's the root change that can lead to many other wonderful things in the society. So we work out of that fundamental thought and try to work on the development of the human consciousness aspect. So how do we do it? We one of the things we do is this Jeevan Vidya workshops, and these workshops are aimed at this self-reflection in the individuals, and then it's of course individuals journey of how they use this body of knowledge and implement it in their lives and transform their lives to into more beautiful versions of themselves. So an individual being a better version of themselves, whether they are a teacher or a mother or a wife, or similarly for if a father or a husband or a software engineer, whatever roles we are playing, if we do them more effectively, that's the best thing that we could do for ourselves and for people around us. So that's what CHDHC is trying to do. And how do we do what are the various activities that we do? So we do conduct like this online workshop, we conduct online workshops, and also face-to-face workshops when things permit, like when before corona, and maybe hopefully after some time again. And then weekly refreshers. So workshop is a beginning. So after the workshop, this content is so deep and vast that it needs refreshing, and sometimes even going deep into the content, sharing our experiences, and being in this journey with others. So we meet every Sunday as as a refresher for 1.5 hours. So the same content or some extensions of this content is discussed in these refreshers. Sometimes we take up special sessions, like on a Teachers Day, we talk about what is it to be a good teacher, or we on some other occasions about, let's say, parenting, couples related or marriage related topics. So those we call as special sessions, and we do some introductory sessions. So as you can see, we have done a good number of workshops, and many have been kind of enough to participate in these workshops. About the team, so we like I mentioned, there are like 10 people working together in this, and you will meet mostly all of all 10 of us in this workshop. I won't be going into details of each of the names, but yeah, so these are all the members that you will be meeting in this workshop. So most of us are like, some of us are software engineers, some of us are coming from social work background, some of us are doctors, some are you know uh, teachers. So various backgrounds, but we all come together to conduct these workshops and share the Jeevan Vidya knowledge with a larger communities. And brief mention about our teachers. So Shri Nagaraj ji, he's the propounder of Madhyas Darshan, which is the source of this Jeevan Vidya knowledge. And he for us directly, we haven't interacted a lot with Nagaraj ji, but our teachers like Pradeep Ramancharla ji, he's a faculty at IIIT, and Shri Ganesh Bagaria ji, he's also from HPTI Kanpur, right now in Kanpur. So these are the teachers from whom we learned these, and we didn't create all this knowledge ourselves. So we are only sharing this knowledge with you all. We are learning along with you all and then sharing this knowledge with you all. So for, gratitude to our teachers on this occasion. And also like you've seen that you may have donated to this workshop before registration. So we'd like to mention that any of the facilitators never take money, but we do have expenses for various things. And one of the main things, of course, is like we need one person who to coordinate all these activities, to organize these sessions, record them, upload them, talk to people who are having issues and all, etc. So we do take some donations for supporting that admin, and maybe things like Zoom account or some small other expenses. But the facilitators believe that it is their responsibility to share this knowledge with everybody, and hence the facilitators never took any money for conducting these workshops. So we'd like to mention that also. And some of you may have noticed that there is no hard and fast amount on how much to donate, etc. So people also donate time, or people donate tools. For example, somebody may give, okay, I'll give my Zoom account, etc. So yeah, various forms of donations are accepted. And even if somebody doesn't donate, they are never denied an opportunity. So people who, if they just send an email, then we'll definitely, they are also participating in this workshop. So with that brief introduction about our organization, let's go into the content of the Jeevan Vidya workshop. Let's try to see what that is. So I will stop this sharing and we'll continue the sharing of the board. Okay, so I hope you can see the board now. Can somebody please confirm?
Yes.
Yeah, as we can see the board.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And so, yeah, welcome to the Jeevan Vidya workshop. And we'll start this workshop with a small activity. So because this is when this workshop is very you have to reflect upon it more. This is more than we telling what the content. It's about it'll be more effective if the participants reflect and participate and interact. Especially the evening Q&A sessions are very, very important because I mean, in the morning session now it'll be more a one-way thing. Like I will be presenting the content. I will definitely take your input. So I request you all to participate, but we won't have a lot of time to take too many questions. So maybe 1 or 2 questions, but evening session is exclusively for questions. So please make it a point to make yourself available for the evening session also, so that you interact, you listen to questions. So even though sometimes we don't ask questions, the same question that we have, somebody else will ask. So it'll be very useful that evening. Okay, so let's start with it's a small activity. I want you to I have a request for you all. So suppose um, we imagine. So imagine a beautiful world. How do we want our life and our world around us to be? Can you please share your inputs in the chat window? Imagine a beautiful world around us, and and a happy world, a beautiful world. How does it look like? I want to write how it looks like. Can you all share your inputs in the chat window? Okay, I'll slowly write as you're typing. So compassionate, loving. Oops. Empathetic. Happiness and peace. Where people do not hate each other. Oh, Shatrunjay, namaste, sir. Very nice to have you here.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Been long. Very nice to hear from you, sir. People do not hate each other. People do not hate each other. Happy. A world with lush green meadows. There is no hunger. Okay. So green, no hunger. Let's call prosperous, harmony. No poverty, borderless. Okay. Okay. Borderless. Kind. Like a paradise. Blissful. Nature all around with self-discipline. Okay, self-discipline. Everyone shares with everyone else. Okay, communicating. Help each other, all loving, equality, peace, health, full of nature and animals, no corruption, accountable, truthful, honest, everyone thinks of comfort and happiness and others, content, where no one is poor and everyone is socialist economy, paradise, world with people who can understanding each other, healthy, we have written health, learning, where we learn too much from nature and other living things. Okay. Capable, take responsible. Yeah, very responsible. No conflicts, fight, only understanding. Okay, justice, inclusive. Okay, I think we have captured most of the things. Very nice. So yes, we all wish this kind of a world around us. Okay, transparent. We all want a happy people around us who help each other, who don't hate each other. We want prosperity around us. We don't want people to be hungry. We don't want people to be deprived. At the same time, we want harmony around us. We want borderless, so people are not fighting with each other for land or various resources. People to be kind to each other and living in a blissful life with self-discipline, communicating with each other, and loving each other. There is equality of our opportunities in the society. There is health. People are accountable for what they're doing, truthful, honest, and content. And people are understanding each other, learning, and also responsible. And there is justice everywhere, inclusiveness and transparency. So yes, is there anybody who doesn't want such a thing? We all want this kind of a world, right? Is there anybody who doesn't want this? We all want this, such a world, right? Yes. Yes. So all of us want this kind of a world, and we all want to be happy. And everything that we do is to achieve this kind of a world. Like right from the morning we wake up till we sleep, every act that we are doing is to achieve this kind of a thing for us and for people around us. Yes, we do things, we act, we behave, we work, and we do all kinds of things in our day to achieve this kind of a world. This is the goal for everybody. This is the goal, whether consciously we are doing it or unconsciously. This is what we want. But what is it currently? How is the current situation? Let's write that on this side. How is our life and world around us? So again, I'm looking for inputs from you all so that I can write about what is it looking like today. So further our interest specifically, so let's say self-centered, bound, caged. Okay, we don't want to work for it. So lazy, irresponsible, misunderstand, jealousy, no control on mind or on tongue, everywhere, dishonesty, lethargic, judgmental, weak, greed, no trust, mistrust, and angry, money minded, lack of privacy, irresponsible, quite opposite. Okay, discriminating,
I feel all the words in the right hand side could be the synonyms of people or human beings right now. That's what I feel.
okay, sure. Discriminating, deprived, blaming, proud, craving for love, okay, blaming, we have written these, pollution, corruption, injustice. I think we can keep writing more. Expectations, exploitation, unable to achieve the good things listed. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much for participating very actively in this in this activity of identifying what we are. Let's call this on the right side as what we are and what we want to be, right? So we all wish to be this wonderful thing, that things that we have listed on the left side, that we want to be compassionate, living, happy, peaceful, blissful, prosperous, and there is justice in society, there is beauty in the nature around us, that we are living in harmony with nature, we are living in family with wonderful relationships, sharing with each other, communicating and understanding each other. So that's what we all want to be. But what we are is completely different. We are so I'll take the questions later, ma'am. So first of all, let's take this through. Then we all want to be, what we are is currently like, at an individual level, we are lazy, irresponsible, self-centered, there's misunderstanding, there are feelings of jealousy within us, there is dishonesty, lethargy, being judgmental, etc. And if we take health-wise, there's lack of health in people, and then at a societal level, we see there is lack of equality, inequality, poverty, and corruption, injustice, all kinds of things. And again, at nature level, if we see, there is so much of exploitation, pollution, and these kind of things. Now, if we look at it, everything that we do is to achieve this on the left side. So every act of ours, pretty much what we do it assuming we will achieve this thing. but what we are ending up is with what we are on the right side. Now, what is the reason for this gap? Can we try to identify what is the reason for this gap between what we are and what we really want to be? Can I hear from you some inputs on why is it that, or what can fulfill this gap? Let me ask this, a question as to what can fulfill this gap. I request to type in the chat window, because if you are speaking, it will take a long time. So what can fill this gap from what we are to what we want to be? Why is it that we are ending up on the right side, although we want on what we want on the left side? Okay, not having right knowledge, self clarity, self analysis, connectedness can fill the gap. Okay, right perception, viewpoints, understanding and clarity, very nice. Not having the right knowledge. Okay, self introspection, willing to change. Okay, wonderful. So you all have given very nice answers. Being constantly aware, open-mindedness, acceptance of the others, and little bit of awareness of what is around us, and a little bit of empathy would go a long way. Yes, so amazing. So we do not know how how to achieve it. If we acquire proper understanding and skills, and it may help. Yes, so being constantly aware and conscious of what we want. Wonderful. So all of you have pointed in the right direction. So let me ask with a couple of questions. Can money bridge this gap, or physical facilities? Is it because of lack of money that we are not able to achieve what we want to, and we are ending up with this? So if we have unlimited money and resources, can we achieve this? No, right? Yeah. So to a certain extent, yes. So we may think some of them, yeah. So some aspects maybe because of facilities, like for example, somebody is hungry. We would think that like if we provide them, we can reduce poverty to some extent. But if you go to the root of the issues, most of the issues, even things like poverty and these kind of things, which we think are mostly because of the physical facilities. For example, let's take this health aspect. What kind of resources can improve somebody's health? Of course, the right food is required to be healthy, and to that extent, physical facilities are required, definitely. But for example, there is a software engineer who is earning well, and that person has a back pain. Or if you there are many surveys which are saying that constipation is a very big issue for many people, right? So physical resources are not an issue there. There is so much, whatever they want, they can buy. Whatever food they want, they can buy. But any amount of money or physical facilities cannot resolve the problem of, somebody being constipated, or somebody, having a back pain, right? It's a matter of responsibility of how we take care of our body that is causing that issue. So any amount of money or physical facilities will not be sufficient to solve that problem. Similarly, pollution, for example. What is pollution? Pollution is like we are using resources from nature at a rate, nature is producing some resources at a particular rate, but we are consuming them at an even faster rate, and the waste that is coming out of this is not going to go back into the nature. So that's causing the pollution, right? Now this is a matter of understanding how we understand things. So a lot of things are, as you have all of you have pointed out, these are not related to money. So money cannot, or physical facilities is not the reason for not achieving what we want to be. Okay, next question is, so you all said it's not money. Can we say if we change the, let's say, constitution, or writing down good laws and framing good laws will solve this? Like, can we achieve what we want to be by framing a good constitution or improving laws again, and in the country? Okay. To a certain extent again. Yeah. So any amount of wonderful laws that we bring in also again ultimately depend on how whether we actually live by those laws or not. Right? So we may put the best of the laws in place, but if people are not following them, or people in the society are not following them, this is not going to solve the problems that we have. For example, all the social issues, there are so many laws against ill treatment of, let's say, women, or about equality in society, about opportunity, about to provide access of resources to many people. So there are wonderful laws and guidelines and things available already in place, but the people who are implementing them or executing them or following them, if they are not following these laws and rules and guidelines and all these things, these laws will not help, only to some extent, for creating some amount of fear. For example, if you skip a red light, you'll be having a fine, or you will face so and so punishment, etc. So those kind of things will cause some kind of fear, and out of fear to some extent it may help. But unless and until it is until people own these things and be responsible, these are also only to some extent only. So the proposal in front of you all today is that, okay, I'll write here, just one second. Okay, so the proposal is that right understanding is required. So right understanding of what and about what, we'll get into all these details. But if we look at the root of any of these issues, it's often because of lack of understanding about something or the other. So for example, laziness or being irresponsible, what could cause these things? So I have an opportunity in front of me. I have a life. I am somewhere. So if I don't know how to make use of my life, or what to spend my energy and time on how to organize myself, these would cause things like laziness, or being irresponsible, or lethargy, etc. Right? So take, for example, pollution. What can cause pollution? Pollution is caused by lack of understanding of how things are working in the nature, how nature works, how humans interact with nature, how how I can live in harmony with nature, or how, what if what kind of things can lead to exploitation of nature. That's lack of understanding of how nature works. Similarly, if I don't have understanding of how relationships are, and what is a relationship, and what is my role in a relationship, it will cause to issues in relationships. So I will have greed, I will have dishonesty, I will have exploitation of people, I may have jealousy. These kind of things are because of lack of understanding about the relationships. Similarly, society. So if I don't have an understanding of how society is functioning, and what is my role in this society, then I cannot be of like proper value to this society. So because of lack of participation in the right way, it's leading to all kinds of issues. So for example, I feel that okay, I mean, everybody is grabbing resources, I also need to grab resources. So everybody is accumulating resources, and obviously somebody is going to be deprived of resources. So this lack of understanding about for example, prosperity, how much money I need, or how many resources I need, leads to a lot of issues like exploitation, deprivation, inequality. I need to hoard myself, right? A lot of resources because of this insecurity, because of fear I have. And so the proposal in front of you all, okay, coming to the point of proposal, this whole workshop would be in the form of proposals. This is an exercise to draw your attention to these proposals, but ultimately each one of you have the right or have the authority to think about these, reflect upon these, and decide whether this is acceptable, not acceptable. And acceptance is just a beginning point, and ultimately we'll see value of these when we live according to these principles, right? So this is just a exercise to put these proposals in front of you, this whole workshop. So this is just one of the first proposals. What is the first proposal? The proposal is that to achieve what we want to be from what we are or what we wish to be as an individual and as a society, and together with everybody else, to achieve this goal of what we want to be, we need right understanding in every individual. So this is a proposal in front of you all. So I request you all to reflect upon this. We'll go through this work. I mean, as we come along in this workshop, you'll come across many more proposals. So please keep reflecting upon them. So I mean, that's the whole purpose of the workshop anyway. So what I am proposing here is that right understanding in individuals can lead to an organized. First of all, an individual is organized in the sense I have the clarity of what I am, what I need to do, what I want to be, and I'm working for it. And where am I working? I'm working within myself. I'm working on my health. I'm working with people around me in my family. I'm working in society. Working in the sense living. I'm living with people in the family, living with people in the society. I'm living as a part of nature. So if I have this right understanding, then I can live to be harmonious at all these places where I'm living. Otherwise, if I don't have the right understanding, I will lead to disharmony at every level. So disharmony is showing up in different forms. So all these are different forms of the disharmony that I have within myself, and it is reflecting outside. That's all. These are different forms of the lack of right understanding within me, which is showing up in so many forms as anger, mistrust, greed, jealousy, being self-centered, fearful, and everything. So all these that we listed down here. Okay, so now I can take one question. If somebody has a question, please raise your hand. Okay, there's already somebody who's raising it. Padmajaji, yeah, please go ahead. Do you want to say something, Padmajaji?
No, that happened by mistake.
Okay, no problem. That's okay.
Yeah. I've understood it. So
okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so if there are no questions, then we'll. Okay, Sunil. Yeah, please go ahead, Sunilji.
My question is that, when we understand and the focus is on a right understanding, but then it just coming up out of critique or doubt, in the sense that we can try to do a lot on ourselves, but we have to live with the system that is outside. So kitna bhi we can do, we can try to work on these things and work on ourselves and work in conduciveness with the society, but the external factors sometimes pulls us down, and then all things falls down, and then we are not able to go in tune with what we want. So any thoughts on that?
Even
sure.
I agree with the same. I feel the same because as an example, if we work in a
Sorry,
corporate world.
who is speaking, ma'am? Can you please say your name?
This is Shilpa.
Yeah. Okay, Shilpaji, please go ahead.
Yeah. So people, especially living in the corporate world, we have to face so many negative people. Even we change, we have to face the challenges and we have to become like
Mm.
them. So
Mm.
how can we
Yeah.
face all that? We can't live with peace with
Mhm.
that kind of person. We have to fight for ourselves to live
Yeah.
in that kind of, face that challenge. So
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So very valid question both of you have asked, that is it sufficient if I have the right understanding, but the whole society around me is not having this right understanding and just I am having the right understanding? Is it sufficient for me to be happy? How can I be happy when the whole world is, may even make misuse of me and my goodness? This is the question that you are asking. So yeah, very valid question. So as we go along the workshop, one thing that we are going to explore is that what is my happiness dependent on? Is my happiness dependent on like how people behave with me, or is my happiness dependent on where I am, like what are my surroundings, or is there a possibility that I can be happy within myself irrespective of how situations and people around me are? So that's a wonderful question to ask and to start with, actually. But yeah, please keep that question. As we go along, we will explore this question about, can I be happy irrespective of my situations and people around me? Can me having right understanding be sufficient enough for me to be comfortable and be of value to people around me and do the right things from my side irrespective of how the others are behaving? Or do I not have a choice? I also have to, if somebody is cheating me, I have to cheat them. So is it like a tit for tat thing? Right. So yeah, let's explore this. A very wonderful question to have. And as we go along the workshop, if your question is resolved, that's wonderful. But otherwise, please bring it up again. We'll see how this right understanding can help us to be at harmony within ourselves, and irrespective of the people and situations around us. So
I have a little thing to say here. I'm Padmaja.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, there was this question about, how we have to be like them. So I was just thinking that, why not influence them to be like us?
Mhm. Yeah, sure, ma'am. So the valid point, and these are all thoughts that we may, or approaches that we come up as our understanding improves, or as first of all, we need to feel assured that irrespective of the other person's behavior, can I behave well, irrespective of how the situations are treating me, can I still be fine, and can I do the right thing, be happy first of all, and be at peace, at comfort within me? Is it possible or not? Once it is possible, then we can think of this, that okay, let the other be inspired by me. Why should I be inspired or influenced by the negative things? Let my positivity influence others. So all these thoughts of how to go about it will come up naturally. So yeah, thank you for that point. So
Thank
with
you.
that, yeah, so with that, so the first proposal, so if you want to write down somewhere the list of proposals, first proposal is that we need to have the right understanding in us to to achieve this, what we want to be. So right understanding. So we'll also come into the next thing. What is this right understanding? Understanding about what? So we'll go into that next. So let's continue our discussion. Some error that's throwing up. Just one second. I need to close this application and open again. For some reason, my Microsoft Whiteboard is crashing. I'll use some other application. Let's do right. Let me share again. Okay, so we were talking about the right understanding, and sorry, there is a technical trouble. Let me. Okay. So right understanding. What exactly is this? And what about understanding about what do I need the understanding about? So the proposal is that so where do we live in our day-to-day life? Can you type in your chat window as to where do we live our life? Do we live in our home? And where else do we live? Home, office, society. Yes. In our minds, in family, in office. Yes, with home, laptop, most of the time is devoted to work. Okay, we live in the world. Okay. Office, family, friends. Okay. Yes. So you all have given the right inputs as to where we all live. So first thing is, I live with myself. That is my thoughts, my desires, my imagination, my choices. So all these are like living with myself, right? So I live with myself, first thing. Second thing is, so myself also includes body. So let me write down body also. So I live with my body, right? So my body is my responsibility. So I nurture it, I protect it, I take care of it. So then I live with my body. Then the third place I'm living with most of the time is family. Now, family, that means in my relationships. So whether it is my home, my immediate family, or my extended family, various relationships that we live in. So we live in our family. Then we live as a part of society, right? So we are part of the society, yes, and also at workplace. So now workplace is also it's a like combination of family and society, right? So I have relationships, I interact with people, I'm contributing to society. So I'm living it in family, then I'm living in society, and then I'm living as part of nature, right? So we also live as part of nature. I consume air, water, food from nature. I derive a lot of facilities like clothes, shoes, cars, houses, etc. from nature. And I am also living with nature. Is there anything beyond these that I live with? Is there anything apart from these that I'm living in? Is this list complete? It's capturing every space that we are living. So the myself includes like my mind, my thoughts, desires, etc. Right? My aspirations. I live basically with myself, right? And then we also live with my body, then family, that is, relationships of immediate family, extended family, colleagues, and etc. Society. So I'm living as a part of society. Okay, creator. Okay, so let me add one more level after nature. So I'm calling it existence. So everything that exists. So it includes nature, society, family, everything. So if you notice, what I just did is I went from the smallest to the largest. There is no magic, in this. So the smallest entity to the largest possible thing. So this list is complete. So if we understand the body part, we will come to that, we'll elaborate. So so I mean, we all know that at least we have a body, right? So I have the responsibility to take care of the health. I need to have facilities to take care of my body, like clothes, house, shoes, whatever we need. So I'm living with my, I'm as my life, part of my life goes into taking care of my body, right? So that's my life with my body. Then so society, I am doing work for society. I am like earning money from society, spending money from society. Then I'm getting the education and also educating, etc. Nature, we are taking resources, giving resources, um, most of the time consuming resources. So existence is everything that exists, everything put together. So if we understand all these levels, that's myself, me and my relationship with my body, my relationships with my family, my relationship or my role in society and nature, and then understanding what is existence. If we understand all these, is that understanding complete enough? Can we say that my understanding, if I have the right understanding about all these aspects, that is, what am I, what is my mind, what are my thoughts, what are my desires, and what exactly is me? That's the first question, right? And then what is me and my body? What is the relationship with me and my body? How do I keep my body healthy? What do I need to do? How much do I need to earn? All these come under understanding my body. Then my family, what are relationships, what is trust, what is respect, respecting somebody, what is affection towards somebody, what is love, what is care, what is guidance. um, yeah and then so yeah, Shatrunjay ji is talking about how these are all related with each other. So my understanding about all these, and then how these are interacting with each other. So how is society interacting with nature, how are people interacting with nature, or how families come together to form a society, and how individuals become part of family, society, nature. So the interrelationships between these things. So if I have the understanding about all these levels of my living and existence, then I know my participation in each of these, right? So my participation can be much clear or much better if I understand, first of all, what are these. You may be thinking, of course we understand what is what is so, what is the big deal about all these things. But if we notice our current state, when we wrote all the issues that we wrote in our current state of life, and in general around us, fall into one of these, all the issues are lack, because of lack of understanding at different levels. So for example, if I don't have the right understanding of myself, it leads to, for example, boredom, laziness, and uh, um, and then confusion, depression. All these are an consequence of not understanding myself. If I don't have right understanding about my body, then it leads to ill health, all issues, and also I don't know how many facilities I need, for example, then also leads to exploitation. Then relation in family, if I don't have right understanding about family and relationships, what does it lead to? It leads to exploitation, disrespect, discrimination, mistrust, fear, fear about relationships. It leads to all these things. And if I don't have the understanding about what is society and what is my participation, then we are always feeling injustice, right? And then we see inequality, all these things it'll result in, if I don't know how to participate in society. Similarly, in nature, if I don't have understanding of how nature works and what kind of how do I participate in nature, it will lead to all the issues we listed, like pollution, um, and exploitation of resources of nature, and what else. So all these issues related to nature, animal cruelty, etc., etc. All these issues are because of my lack of understanding about nature. And then of course existence, then the ultimate question of what is all this. So then lack of clarity. So if we understand all these levels, and then the harmony at all these levels, so uh, there is a harmony at all these levels, and if we understand that harmony and participate in these levels, that means live in these levels with this right understanding, that is what leads to my um, my happiness. That is what we all need to achieve what we really want to be. Yes, it's not easy. I never said it is easy, but that is what is required. So at least now we know what to do to achieve what we want to be, right? So this is what we need to achieve that left side, which we wrote, that I want to be happy, blissful, clear, content, satisfied, and we want equality and respect everywhere and harmony with nature everywhere. So if we want to achieve that, then we need this right understanding. And this workshop is about trying to achieve this right understanding at various levels that are mentioned here. So you may be thinking, what are we going to do in the 7 days? It's pretty simple. So we are going to take each of these one by one. So we'll start with myself, me and my body, then family, then society, then nature, and maybe briefly touch upon existence also. So we are going to explore each of these levels one by one and try to see try to see the proposals about the right understanding. So about each of these levels, the proposals will be put in front of you to reflect and gain this right understanding through this workshop. So with that, let's go into one more point that I would like to make. Okay, so I can take one question because I have one more topic to cover before we close today. Yeah, anybody wants to ask a question? Yeah, so like Shatranjay mentioned, the kind of dissatisfaction or unhappiness that we are living with itself is a motivation to work towards achieving this right understanding, so that we get away from that inequalities, the disrespects, that injustices we face in our relationships, that constant irritations, frustrations, and boredom, and all these things that we face. To go away from them itself is a motivation, and to work hard towards achieving this right understanding. So the first proposal of the workshop, the main proposal, is that we need right understanding in ourselves, and to understand all these levels of my living. I live my day, so from morning to night, if I look at it, I am living basically at either one of these places always. If I'm looking, where am I right now, you will be in one of these places. So if I have understanding about these places where I am living, then I know how to participate in these various dimensions of life, and then I can live in harmony with these dimensions of life. If I don't have the understanding about these dimensions of life, then obviously my participation is also under question, and naturally it leads to unhappiness and the conflict and various issues that we talked about. Right. Okay, so then I'll go into the next point, that is please let me know if you're able to see. I wrote self verification here. Are you able to see this?
No.
No.
No? Okay, sorry. Let me try to change the share again. Okay, so in achieving this right understanding, the important thing is that so everything, like whether it is this workshop, or whether it is scriptures, or whether it's people around us in our lives, or anything for that matter, can only be an input for us, right? So ultimately, who has to gain this understanding? It is us who need to gain this understanding. So ultimately, I need to be the one who is verifying this knowledge and then making it part of myself. So everything else can only be an input for us. They can only draw attention to us. So all these proposals which we are putting forward in front of you are aimed at drawing attention. Okay, please see that this is how it is. So that's your aim of our effort to draw your attention. But ultimately, who has to pay attention to these? It's each one of us. We have to pay attention to this. So in the process of paying attention to these proposals, we are giving a tool called self-verification process, right? So what is this self-verification process? Let me write this first, and then we'll see what this self-verification process is. So self-verification process is, so I have a proposal in front of me, and I have to check this proposal. What do I check? First thing I check is it naturally acceptable to me? Then if it is naturally acceptable to me, then the second thing I do is, when I live according to it. Somebody mentioned we have to practice to reach them. Yes, all this knowledge is effective only when we actually live them, when we try to practice and live according to them. So when I live according to this proposal in behavior with others, does it lead to mutual happiness? That is, I am at comfort and I am trying to make the other comfortable too. So does it lead to this? First check. Second step. Third check is in work, behavior with others, and in work with nature. That means when I'm working on physical things, like I'm breaking a stone, I cutting a tree, these kind of things, that we are calling it as work. And all the things that we do with human beings, we are calling it as behavior. So I talk to you, I shake hands with you, I say namaste, I respect you, I trust you. All this is behavior. Okay. And when we are interacting with nature, we are calling that as work. So growing a crop, cutting a tree, digging the land, all this is, we are calling it as work. So does it lead to mutual prosperity? That's the third check that we do. If all these are passing, all these checks are passing, then it becomes a part of my, I may have a realization, and then it becomes a part of my understanding. Okay. These are the various steps. And the other check also is that on a universality check. Whether is it independent of time, space, and individual. We'll talk about it. Like everything looks very abstract right now, but we'll talk about it in detail with some examples. So if the proposal is meeting all these things, then it may, it may become part of my understanding. Otherwise, that there is either something wrong with the proposal, or that proposal, I couldn't understand that proposal. It's not part of my right. Part of my, it can't become part of my understanding. So let's take an example. So what we said is, first thing is it should be, and very important thing is I am the basis. When I'm saying I am the basis, that means I need to experience this. Everything else is input to me, whether it is a workshop, books, or any people, or based on data. Everything is input to me. I need to actually experience. So I am the basis for this knowledge to become part of my right understanding. So let's look at what these examples are. So proposal, for example, the proposal is, let's say, I need to eat to be healthy, for example. That's a proposal. Somebody is telling you need to eat in such a way that you should be healthy. So is it naturally, first I will check, is it naturally acceptable to me? Yes, fine. I need to be healthy. It's good for me. I think it's naturally acceptable to me. Behavior with others. So it's not something related to behavior with others. So I mean, of course, while eating or while taking care of my body, this also needs to be ensured, but we are talking about health here. So in relationship with nature, what I am eating, what I'm getting, is it mutually prosperous or not? So for example, if I'm eating, I need to eat so that I am healthy, right? So mutual prosperity, whether my body is becoming healthy by what I am eating or not, is a just check for me, because body is also part of nature, right? So when I eat something, is it leading to health for my body, and or not, is a test. Is it passing? So if it passes, fine, this looks to be fine, this proposal. Then I go to the universality check. Is it independent of time? So today also I want to be healthy, tomorrow I want to be healthy, future anytime also I want to be healthy, right? And space. So in India also people want to be healthy, in America also people want to be healthy, everywhere. uh, it's valid for independent of people, independent of location and individuals. So whether it is anybody, whether it's an Indian, American, Russian, Australian, it's the proposal is still valid. So the proposal that I want to eat to be healthy seems to be valid. Then when the proposal is valid and I'm experiencing this proposal, it becomes part of my understanding. Let's take another example. So the proposal that I got is, let's say my friend is saying, take smoke a cigarette, you'll feel very good. That's the proposal that we got, right? First check, naturally acceptable or not. So it's a little vague. So for some it may be acceptable, some it may not be acceptable, right? So let's say I felt naturally acceptable because my friend is saying it, I felt it acceptable. Then when I go and look about mutual, this part, like when I go behavior with others, well, smoking is not something to do with behavior, right? So I go to the work, that's the nature part. When I'm with nature, is it leading to mutual prosperity or not? So my body is going to be damaged if I do it, right? So it's not leading to mutual prosperity. So this check is failing. And is it universal? Is it independent of time? Today, tomorrow, every time you will be happy if you smoke, independent of space, like everywhere in the world people need to smoke to be healthy, or independent of people? So many checks will be failing. So then there is something wrong with that proposal, needs to be re-looked at. Okay, then let's take another example. Respect your elders. That's a proposal in front of us. Is it naturally acceptable to me? Yeah, looks fine. Respecting the elders is naturally acceptable. Then behavior. When I behave according to this, I'm respecting the elders. It's leading to comfort. I'm comfortable. The other is also comfortable. Is it okay? We think that this is also fine, right? Then work with nature. So this is about respect, not related to nature. So this is not relevant to this. Now universality will come. Right? Is it independent of time? Yes, today I want to respect elders, tomorrow I want to respect, every day I want to respect. It's always going to be good. What about individuals? Is it applicable for everybody? So what about the behavior with, for example, the younger ones? So when we said respect the elders, the proposal is kind of a little bit incomplete here. It didn't talk about what we should do with the younger ones. So people can imagine anything here. Respect the elders, but exploit the younger. They may have meant love the younger, or care for the younger or something. But when it is incomplete, it could be imagined in any way. So we dominate the younger. So we are behaving in such a way that we respect the elders, but we dominate the younger. So that proposal, is it complete? Can it become part of the right understanding? So no. Let's take another proposal. Respect everybody. Now then, let's use the self-verification process to check whether respect everybody is acceptable and can become part of my understanding. It's naturally acceptable, yes. In behaving with others, whether it is younger or elders, everybody will be comfortable if I respect everyone. Not nature is not applicable. And universality, yes. Today I want to respect, and tomorrow I want to respect. Every day I want to respect and be respected also. Similarly, space, people here everywhere want to be respected and be mutual respect. Then individuals. So in that way, respect everybody is a proposal that seems to be more valid than respect elders, right? So then I will take respect everybody as a proposal, and that becomes part of my understanding. Yeah, sorry. Mahendraji, you have raised your hand. You can ask your question.
The respect, when we speak of respect everybody, there may be somebody who we think are not worthy of respect because of their actions and their behavior. So how do I correlate with my mind when I'm compelled to respect him, and when I feel he is not worthy of my respect?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. I got your point. Very valid point. So we'll see. So as we go along, we are going to define what respect is, and let's look at it from the other point for now. So I want to be respected by everybody. Is that true? At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We want when we want to be respected by everybody, if possible, right? So similarly, so that is acceptable to me in behavior. When everybody respects me, I feel comfortable. The other is comfortable, and it also passes the test of universality. So everybody also wants this kind of a respect.
We can't be sure that the other is comfortable respecting me, but okay, I like it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So this self-verification tool is basically a check for the proposals, because there are so many proposals in front of us. So somebody, like for example, somebody said, okay, if somebody ill-treats you, you ill-treat the other. Okay, I have, this is a proposal that is in front of me. So somebody came and ill-treated you, you don't be silent, you also ill-treat the other, is a proposal somebody gave me. Now again, I run it through this check. Is it naturally acceptable? Maybe in that fit of the moment, yes, it looks correct to me. But when I go and do my behavior with the other, am I comfortable doing it?
No.
Today, tomorrow, every time doing that? No, right? So it fails the check of mutual happiness, whether I'm comfortable and the other is comfortable in doing that. When somebody ill treats me, I will also ill treat somebody here, so tit for tat. So that proposal, there is something faulty with that proposal. It cannot become part of my right understanding. Right, so I can keep at least filtering my the proposals that I get in front of me based on this self-verification process. This is a tool that will be helpful for us to check whether what I'm living by, the proposals that I'm living by, are they going to lead to mutual happiness and mutual prosperity or not. So all the proposals that we are going to put in front of you in this workshop and otherwise in life also, the proposals that you come across, people, we will be coming, everybody will be giving us their inputs. Do this for you to be happy. Take, smoke to be happy. Take one peg before you sleep to be happy. Take, drugs to be happy. All kind of proposals are coming in front of youngsters, in front of us every day. Or be very mean and rude so that people will respect you. People will we listen to you, all kinds of these proposals. So we are always on this confusion whether this proposal is correct or not. Should I live by this proposal or not? So this self-verification process basically will help us. So first thing is, it should be naturally acceptable to me. And then when I live according to this proposal, it should lead to happiness with everybody. So I should be comfortable within myself, and the others also should be comfortable whom I'm interacting with. Then it should lead to mutual prosperity in nature. And it should be kind of universal. That is, it's independent of time, space and individual. This is the self-verification process. When something passes all these checks, then that proposal is something, it can become part of my right understanding. Otherwise, I have to I may have to drop that proposal, or there is something incomplete with that proposal or incorrect with that proposal. So that's about the self-verification process. So a quick recap in the last 2-3 minutes today. Let me share my full screen now. So we looked at what we are and what we want to be, and we noticed that. Okay, still there is a problem. So we noticed that while we do everything what we do in our lives to be happy and individuals and with happy people around us and happy society and harmony with nature, we end up being with a lot of problems. When we try to investigate what is causing these issues, we noticed that it is because of lack of right understanding at various dimensions of our life that is resulting into these kind of issues. So if we work at improving our right understanding, then there is a good chance that these issues will start getting resolved. That doesn't mean that there won't be any new problems, but at least when there is an issue, we know how to respond to that. Right? So we are living with a samadhan. So we have a solution and I'm living by it. When an issue comes, I will respond to it according to this solution, according to this right understanding. So, and what right understanding do I need? I need right understanding about all these dimensions of life, because my life is in all these dimensions of life. So I need an understanding about myself, my body, my family, society, nature. And as I live with right understanding at all these levels, there will be harmony at these levels and also harmony within myself. And in the process of improving our right understanding, we are proposing a tool called self-verification process. So because ultimately I am the experiencer, so I need to build my right understanding. So although the reality and knowledge is universal, I need to understand it and feel it within myself for me to be happy. So for that, the verification process that is proposed in front of you is that first thing is the natural acceptance check. So something maybe immediately I can accept it based on my natural acceptance. But then when I live according to it also, it should lead to mutual comfort between me and the other, and also mutual prosperity in nature. And the other additional check is the check of universality, that this proposal should be valid independent of time, space, and individual. Then this proposal can become a part of my understanding. And it will, and I live according to this right understanding, it is anyway, like we saw, leading to mutual comfort and mutual prosperity. That is what we all want, right? Ultimately, why are we doing all this? To achieve this comfort within myself and comfort around me, and comfort for me and nature around me. So that's the dream world that we have been talking about. So to achieve that dream world that we all talked about, we need the right understanding. And this is a filtration mechanism for building this right understanding within ourselves. So with that, I think the time is also over for the session today. So again, I thank you all for joining today's session. It's very important that you participate in the Q&A session in the evening, because that's where you can ask all your questions. There'll be enough time. Since we need to cover some content, we are in kind of a speed mode in these lecture sessions. But in the Q&A session, we can take up in detail all the questions that you have. So thank you all again for your participation, and also it's very important that you all participate in all the 7 days. So just one day is not going to be enough, because we need understanding about all these levels. So if any of these levels is missed out, then again it will lead to disharmony in our life at that level. So it's like a one full sentence which needs to be understood, and if some words are missed out, the meaning doesn't get conveyed. So I request you all to attend the workshop in completeness. And yeah, so looking forward to see you all in all the sessions in this workshop. And thanks again for your time. See you all in the evening. We will sign